Hello, my name is Destiny Rodriguez and I'm from Houston, Texas. I'm currently on my second year here at Texas Tech University, where I'm currently completing my prerequisites for pre-nursing. Like many students at TTU, I moved over 8 hours away from home, and this transition has introduced unexpected emotional challenges, particularly in relations to my family. I often miss family birthdays, gatherings, and quality time with my siblings. For example, as I speak on this matter, I'm unable to attend my older sister's birthday dinner today because the cost of plane and bus were way too expensive. Missing out on these moments is tough and creates a sense of sadness as it reminds me of how far away I am from the family events I would typically be a part of. This experience has highlighted how difficult it can be for some students to adjust to college life far from home. I've seen classmates drop out because they couldn't cope with the emotional distance and disconnection that comes from being away from their support system. While some students thrive in a new environment and embrace the independence college offers, others struggle to find their place and adapt to their new settings. The excitement of pursuing academic goals often conflicts with the emotional challenges of leaving behind one's support network, which can create an internal conflict for many students. Which is why, according to the National Library of Medicine, 70% of university students report experiencing daily homesickness, which leads to lower concentration and performance. In the first 10 weeks of college, 94% of students reported homesickness, though this number decreases slightly by the end of their first term. In Francesca's video, Moving Away from Home and Mental Health, she shares her own fears about university life, quoting, "I was scared I wouldn't make any friends. I was scared I couldn't handle being away from home. I was scared my mental health wouldn't be supportive. Most of all, I was scared I wasn't going to enjoy my time at university." Ultimately, she finds her own way and encourages others to remember that, and I quote, "Mental health can affect anyone on any level and to reach out to anyone who can help." This brings me to my central research question for my multimodal project. How does moving away from Houston to Lubbock to attend Texas Tech University affect a student's mental health? To explore this, I will conduct primary research through interviews with 3 students from Houston who have experienced college in different ways. The first interview would be with my friend Lauren Brady, who transferred from the University of Houston to Texas Tech for her second year. The second will be my friend Bree, who has been at Texas Tech University since her freshman year. The third interview will be my friend Maria Martinez, who stayed in Houston to attend a local college. These interviews, conducted via Zoom, will consist of 5 open-ended questions designed to elicit genuine, unfiltered responses that capture their emotional experiences, particularly in terms of mental health and academic outcomes. I hope this project will serve as a helpful resource for current Texas Tech students from Houston, parents of college students, and mental health advisors. College students may relate to the emotional challenges present, parents may gain insights to their child's well-being, and mental health professionals might find it useful for understanding how to better support students during this transition. To get started, I'll start off with my first question. Can you tell me your name, where you are from, the current college that you attend, and your major, as well as how long have you been in your current college?
Hi, I'm Brianna. I'm from Houston, Texas. I'm currently a pre-nursing major, and I've been at Texas Tech since freshman year.
Hi, my name is Lauren. I'm from Houston, Texas, currently majoring in computer science, and this is my first year at Tech as a transfer.
In what ways has the transition from a large, familiar city like Houston to a more smaller and isolated city like Lubbock challenged your mental health? And how has the physical distance from your family in Houston affected your sense of emotional security and support?
The transition from a big and busy city to a smaller and more boring city has affected my mental health because I feel like there's nothing to do other than go to school, and I feel like it affects my relationship with my family because I don't have any emotional support and I feel lonely sometimes.
I feel like moving from Houston to Lubbock was kind of a culture shock for me, and it took a toll on my mental health when I first moved here. And also, being physically so far away from my family makes me feel more isolated and like I don't have anyone to talk to when I do feel alone.
Can you describe specific moments when you felt the distance from home the most, and how did you cope in those situations? Have you noticed any changes in your relationship with your family members since you moved away? Do you feel that the challenges of being away from your family have ultimately helped you grow as a person, or do you feel more like obstacles to overcome? And how does missing your family affect your ability to focus on academics or engage with campus life?
I feel the most distant whenever there are family gatherings and birthdays that I miss, and my mom calls me so that I can feel included even though it's not the same. And I feel like it's made the distance between my family even more distant because I don't get to talk to them daily, like how they get to talk to each other all the time. And I think it's easier for me to want to seclude myself from campus life because being away from home affects my mental health.
A specific moment where I really felt the distance was when I missed my sister's birthday and couldn't go home to celebrate with her. It kind of made me feel like I was missing out on important family moments, but I guess something I do to cope is make sure I always FaceTime or call and try to stay as connected as possible. And I wouldn't say I've noticed a difference in my family relationships since moving away, but it is harder to maintain that same level of connection with the distance. And being away from my family feels more like constantly overcoming obstacles rather than growing from it. And it's made it harder to do things here and engage socially when I feel so alone and like I just don't want to do anything because of how my mood is affected.
Have you sought out medical health resources or support systems on campus or in Lubbock? If so, have they helped you navigate the challenges of being away from home? Has there been any moments that you've considered leaving Texas Tech because of the emotional challenges, and what has kept you going or made you stay here?
I have thought about going to therapy and seeing if that would help improve my mental health. And I have had thoughts about leaving and going back to Houston to see if that would help me feel better emotionally. And I felt like that I should stay and stick it out because I really wanted to give Texas Tech a chance and be more open with living here.
I've definitely thought about starting therapy with the on-campus resources, but I've just been too apprehensive about it to actually start. And I feel like if I started therapy when I first moved here, it would have actually helped me cope mentally and get through this transition with less mental breakdowns. So if I could do it again, I would start therapy. And I have had moments where I've considered leaving TTU just because of how bad it was making me feel emotionally, and I just didn't know if this was right for me at one point. But talking to my family and remembering why I came here has helped me to stick it out and to get to a better place mentally.
How would you have described your mental health has been since moving to Lubbock? Would you say you have noticed a positive or negative change? And do you think your experience would have been different if you would have chosen to attend a university closer to Houston?
I've noticed a negative change in my mental health because moving to a small city has been hard to adjust to, and I feel like if I attended a university closer to Houston, I would be a more happy person and a more positive person.
I would honestly say my mental health has been the worst it's ever been since moving to Lubbock. I noticed a lot of negative changes during the first several months here and went through things mentally that I've never experienced before. So it was pretty rough and I didn't really know how to handle it. And I definitely think attending a university in Houston, close to my family, would not have had such a negative impact on my mental health and my emotions, and I would have enjoyed it much more than Lubbock.
What advice would you give to somebody who is moving from Houston to Lubbock to attend Texas Tech University?
Some advice I would give someone moving to Lubbock would be to consider all your options and consider whatever Lubbock has to offer, because once you get here you'll find out that there's not really much here, and that could definitely take a toll on someone that's not used to this kind of city.
If I had to give advice to someone moving from Houston to Lubbock, it would definitely be consider all your options that are closer to home before deciding on moving so far from home. But if you absolutely can't stay close to home, I'd say try and join groups and meet people and engage in the community on campus so that you don't feel so isolated when you do move here.
As you can see, I've only interviewed 2 people so far. Since my third interview has stayed in Houston to attend her local college, it's only right for her to have different questions to answer. So I'll start this interview off. Can you tell me your name, where you are from, the current college that you attend, and your major?
Hello, my name is Maria Martinez. I'm from Houston, Texas. I'm a second year nursing student at my local community college called San Jack.
So, Maria, why did you decide to stay home and attend your local college, and do you regret staying home?
I stayed home because it was the most affordable option as I am on the San Jack Promise, which pays all my classes. And since it's a local community college, I don't need to pay extra for housing as I live with my mother and grandparents. In all honesty, while I know Destiny's having a lot of fun at Tech, I just know that moving away from my family, especially my grandparents, is something that I just can't do. So, no, I don't regret my decisions on staying home as it has allowed me to spend time with my grandparents.
Do you find that staying home has helped you academically and emotionally?
Staying home did help me emotionally as I know that moving away would cause me to feel depressed due to the fact that I am not home with my family. But I would say staying home can also be tricky in regards to my academics, as staying home sometimes makes me forget that I go to school as I just want to be home all day and do nothing.
Maria, do you feel like you could have moved away for college, a college like Texas Tech University?
I do believe I could have moved away from Houston for college if everything was paid for, as I know moving away would cause me to become independent, even though in the beginning it's going to hurt.
What would be your advice to someone moving from Houston to Lubbock to attend Texas Tech University?
I would say the advice I would give someone moving from Houston to Lubbock to attend Texas Tech University would be just to find organizations or clubs with people that share the same culture as you, and it would be a lot easier to make friends that way and just continue making connections throughout the school year.
To conclude my interviews, I believe all three of my interviews can agree that moving away from Houston to attend Texas Tech is not something for the weak minded, as you will have to sacrifice a lot. Both Bree and Lauren share how attending Tech has caused some emotional challenges in regards to missing out on family time, which has led to some academic challenges in regards to focusing on schoolwork. However, they are still going to give Tech a shot and make the best out of it. On the other hand, Maria offers a different perspective by sharing her personal opinion that staying home was the best decision she could have made, as she believes she wouldn't be able to handle the distance from her family. Despite their differences, all three interviews give their advice on moving from Houston to Lubbock to attend Texas Tech and can collectively agree that one should do their own research of Lubbock and to remember Lubbock only has Tech to offer. If you do decide to come to Tech, to try to make as many friends as you can and try to find an organization to keep you busy. I hope that by doing these interviews, I provide another point of view to someone in Houston that is debating whether they should or shouldn't come to Tech, especially if they're concerned on how it might affect their mental health, as many people deal with their mental health differently. Personally, I do believe that someone from Houston should take the risk and come to Texas Tech because I did, and it has allowed me to become independent and experience life in a completely different way. Because Houston will always be there, but coming to Lubbock offers a unique opportunity to grow, learn, and step out of your comfort zone. And taking the risk might just lead to incredible opportunities and a stronger, more resilient version of yourself.